everyone, welcome to the GRE How-To series where we make studying for the GRE a lot more tolerable. Hey, I am here and goodness gracious, it has been a year, hasn't it been? If you are watching this at any time in the future, this is 2020. It's not the year that we expected. This year has just not been going the way we had expected to go in multiple levels. And I certainly needed some time to just kind of take it all in, try to figure out what is going on, try to figure out what is most important. And I hope you had the chance to do that as well. Some of you are still studying, and I wanted to kind of emerge from my whatever state I've been in and just be here for you. Because at the end of the day, life keeps going. And I really appreciate that this has been a resource for so many of you. So many of you have discovered me during quarantine. So I want to make sure that there are 3 things you are doing when it comes to analyzing your mistakes. So if this seems interesting to you, keep on watching. If this is not interesting to you, hey, that's okay. I have a lot of other videos that you can definitely take advantage of. Just click up here and I will show you a playlist and you can watch to your heart's desire. They're not even all my videos. They're just all videos that I felt like were very helpful for me in my GRE journey. All right, so now that we've got, we've cleared the room and we know the people who are here actually wouldn't be here, there are 3 things that I want you to look at when you are analyzing your performance on your GRE practice problems. The first is, did you just freak out? I just want you to have a category of questions where I just freaked out. The second is, did I make a silly mistake? Is this something that I just added instead of subtracted? Things like that. That's going to be really important. And then the third category is what I call nope, never heard of it. This is the kind of question that you'd face if you just look at it with a blank stare, have no idea what is going on for the question, and then you just kind of move on. The reason why I want you to keep track of these 3 things is because you can actually do something about this once you identify it. So let's take the first column, for example. If you just freaked out over this question, I need you to look at the patterns. What subject does this fall into? Are these geometry problems? Are these the kind of problems that have rates or weighted averages? Once you identify the categories that these questions are falling into, it helps you focus your studying so that you can build your comfort level and you are way less freaked out when this comes around the next time. The second thing is the silly mistake column. So the reason why I want you to keep track of the kinds of mistakes that you're making is because you need to understand what you typically do so that you can slow down when you find yourself on that same path. This is a timed test, and it can be really, really tempting to just speed through and do as much as we can, but that doesn't always do us very good if we are getting the questions wrong. So it's very important to pause and reflect and look and see what are the kinds of mistakes that you're doing in order to stop it, to stop. Because we want to make sure we're getting every point we possibly can, and we don't want to lose points by doing something that's preventable. Now, the third category, the nope, never heard of it. The reason why I want you to just kind of parse this out, the reason why it's very different from the freaked out column is this. If you find yourself close to test day and this is something that you've never seen, or if you just know yourself and you know that you hate these kinds of problems, I want you to take note of that, because there are two things that you can do with the kinds of patterns that you discover under the nope category. The first is that you can deprioritize that in your studies, which means if you know you have a long list of kinds of problems that you need to get to, and this particular thing is just not your jam. I will say, if it's like probability, I don't recommend deprioritizing something like probability. Probability is going to be on your test. I can 100% guarantee that you're going to have probability questions. So that's like not one I would avoid. But if it's just something really obscure, like some random kind of geometry or kind of question that you always kind of get tripped up on, I feel like it's very important to, focus on what you can do, what you feel the most confident in. It's very important to just use your judgment on that. Ideally, you can learn everything on the GRE and you will be able to be like this math wizard or verbal wizard, but we have finite time in order to get this done. So there's probably going to be a certain kind of trade-off that you're going to have to deploy when it comes to studying. This is very much like the grad school experience. You're not going to be able to do everything. You're going to have to prioritize. So that is my long way of saying the first thing that you can do with the things that you find in your nope column is you can decide to deprioritize. The second thing you can do is just know what those kinds of questions are so that you can just skip and focus on the things that you do have really great confidence in getting right. So I'll probably do more videos on testing strategies and things like that, but you are managing time, and honestly, you don't get an extra penalty for getting something wrong. However, I don't recommend leaving things blank just in case you run out of time. So it's skipping strategy, flag it, pick an answer, skip it. When you have time, then go back to it and see what you can do to try to get the right answer. So those are my 3 things I want you to focus on the questions that you get wrong. And I'm here, I'm back. I want to make sure that I'm making more content. It's really important to me that I am using time efficiently. So I think for the next couple months, you're not going to see a lot of edits. You're going to see a lot of straight throughs. But I'm also really excited to kind of show you my little different sets that I have here and different kinds of ways I'm going to be showing how to work through these problems. So I really appreciate you staying until the end of this video. If this video was helpful for you, give me a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments which timestamps were the most useful for you. If you don't know how to do a timestamp, basically you just look at the time in the video and then you just write it in the comments, and then YouTube will do the magic for you. If you have any video requests, let me know. And then until next time, stay brilliant.